Actually, it's the lead play in our offense.
Double tackle, take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, you drive down the first man who is inside. Fullback, you tell him to take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one shows. Go right by them and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. So look at this play. What we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access post-game show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. You can find me on Twitter at Packers_access. I'm joined alongside Tim live in Green Bay. We got Emilio down in Tennessee, and the Packers drop another tough one today. What was the final score, guys? 23-19, am I thinking right? 23-19. So tough one here because it should have been one. How many times have we said that this year, right? And, going into the year, too, if people had told me, hey, Clayton, you're going to be in a lot of games, you're going to have a lot of one-score games that you're going to lose, I'd probably go, hey, all right, man, this team's a little bit better than I expect, right? But it's just getting old, and every time it tends to happen the same way. Your defense gets a stop at the end of the game. As a matter of fact, they got back-to-back stops in the fourth quarter, gave your offense 2 full shots to go down and score, couldn't get it done. And again, I've got notes for each quarter. We'll get into each of those notes. We'll hit the stats, all that stuff. We'll also keep an eye on the press conferences coming out of Pittsburgh as well. We'll hear from Coach LaFleur, maybe Jordan Love, and anyone else who's at the podium. But initial thoughts, Tim, let's go around the horn here, man. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, disappointing, but, entertaining game nonetheless.
Definitely.
And close game, like many of us kind of predicted this to be a close game. It wasn't a slow, boring grinder like we thought it would be. But yeah, some disappointment, but a lot to come away with some positives here. Both sides of the ball, I think, but still, like you said, Clayton, more of the same in certain other respects too. So tough loss today, man. But you can't say that we didn't leave it all out on the field. We were right knocking on the door up until the end of that game. So
yeah, definitely, Emilio.
Yeah, it was a close one. Tough way to go. But I think the team kind of rallied. They never give up. Even when Love did throw that pick, you saw Matt LaFleur turn right around on camera and start cheering on the team. Let's go, fellas. We still, we're still in this. We can still do something with this. And you even saw Tay Wicks there cheering on the defense at the end. So, they're still a team. It's not like it's anything like that. It's just like you said, we've been caught up in these one-score games where Minnesota handled them last year. This year, we're not handling them. It's just kind of how it falls and how the teams are. It's just how it goes sometimes.
Very good observation there because, again, last year the Vikings could have very easily been one of the worst teams in the league. Instead, they have one of the best records, right? And that's the game of football, man. It comes down to situations. It's why it's important to watch the game. It's why it's important to watch the tape, understand exactly what unfolded. A lot of people are down on the defense, down on the run defense. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's in my notes here. Negative for the first quarter. Run defense is so bad. Now, I think I look at the run defense a little bit different than everyone else. I've seen people over pursuing on the outside and not staying gap sound on the inside cutbacks. I've seen a ton of missed tackles. It popped up all throughout the game. You want to blame Barry for not coaching better tackling? I got you. But schematically, I didn't see. I got into a conversation on Twitter where someone said, on 4th and 1, you've got 2 defensive linemen on the field. And I'm like, bro, they ran a pitch play.
Yeah.
Are you saying you want more 310-pound linemen on the field when you run an outside pitch? It doesn't make sense. You had the right personnel in to make the play, and you didn't make the play on the outside pitch. It is what it is. And again, early in the game, people all over Twitter, the gatekeepers were alive and well today. What were they saying? Joe Barry running a light box. Of course, here's Joe Barry's light box. Then they load the box and they throw an outside pitch. How do we not have someone outside? Because you wanted to load the damn box. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Drives me insane.
And we did stop him on a 4th and 1, or 3rd and 1 or whatever it was, 4th and 1, I think. But, It's however it falls, man. You saw Preston drop into coverage a couple times. He kicked out. Highsmith drops into coverage. It's just what happens, man. It's why we got to nitpick everything. It's a team game, team sport. They got to play. They just got to play together and play well. We had some penalties, and it ended up hurting us. I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's see here. We got a super chat. Let's go to it first, and then we'll come back to the rest of the chat here. Let me mark my spot so I don't lose it. Josh Martin said, Watson is bad. I'm all for trading him next year. I disagree. Watson's a second-round pick. Watson's a second-round wide receiver, right? Watson wasn't drafted as a slam dunk number one receiver. We've seen him emerge as a number one receiver last year, right? And now that he's not living up to what he established last year, now all of a sudden we want to trade him. I respectfully disagree, Josh. Now, as far as the quote-unquote drops and all that, how many times are we going to watch Jordan Love throw into coverage, the defender bat the ball, and just because a receiver was in the area to possibly catch it, it's on the receiver? I'm so sick. I don't know when this became a thing where, and this isn't towards you, Josh, this was other people on Twitter. I don't know when it became a thing that it's a positive for the quarterback to throw a ball where the DB can get his hand on it, and it's a negative for the wide receiver to not wrestle it away from him. I don't understand that. Like, that's not how I look at how you should play offense. If you want to play the 50-50 ball game, that's great. I just respectfully disagree, right? Now, was he great today? No. Was he number one receiver worthy? Absolutely not. Agree with you there, man. But as far as for trading him, I mean, his contract is so cheap. He's a guy who can stretch the defense. The problem is your quarterback hasn't been able to hit him stretching the defense. Had a one-on-one opportunity early, and Love melted out of bounds. And again, I think before the fourth quarter, Love played a pretty good game. You guys see me tweeting. He threw some absolute gems.
Yeah.
Touchdown to Romeo Dobbs, beautiful. The touchdown to Jaden Reed, Tim, the deep accuracy looked like it was coming alive. It just so happened there toward the end of the game. And I'm just going to say this, and I know I'm in the minority here, but that little trick play where we decided to throw 25 yards horizontally, 25 yards horizontally, and then have our rookie wide receiver throw it back 35 yards horizontally. And because the guy drops the pass, it's, oh, well, look, it was a good play call. How many times are we going to say that? Let me ask you this. How many times has that play worked this year?
0.
I was thinking it might have worked once, but I could be wrong, Tim. I might be giving it the benefit of the doubt.
And why don't we look across the league and see how many times that play worked last year or the year before? Like, no, we've tried this with a running back throwing a ball to a receiver. Now we have a receiver throwing a ball to a running back.
Right.
And, to Jones's credit, I mean, yeah, he didn't catch the ball because, hey, a receiver is not going to throw a great pass. And what was he supposed to do with it anyways?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that play was absolutely sniffed out.
See, I thought the same thing. They were like, well, he should have caught it. Yes, he should have caught it. But and immediately the announcers, what did they say, Emilio? Well, you got 4 jerseys over here. You throw a block. And I'm going, what are you looking at?
Yeah, we got a wall. I'm like, dude, they are closing fast.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, he could have threw a dime to Aaron Jones, and I don't think it would have mattered. We would have lost yards on that.
I'm eager to see the all 22. Yeah.
It was what, 3rd and 11? Like, why not run a 9 and a dig underneath, clear out and hit? We did that 3 other times on 3rd down and hit it on like a 3rd and 15, I thought. So
I'd have took a draw play up the gut to create 4th and 3 and go for it on 4th down even before I'm trying a trick play in that situation.
You kidding me, Tim? We only punt on 4th. You kidding me?
And Josh Martin, again, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Tolgro with the super chat said, Jordan is good. Zach Tom, great. Watson is meh. I think Watson being meh is closer than, Sam Watson's bad, me personally. And again, I could be wrong. It doesn't, I'm not sitting out here saying people don't know what they're talking about. You guys hear my accent. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But I think Watson is a above average wide receiver the way he's playing right now, right? And one of those kind of floor receivers, if you will, right? When you're rebuilding your receiver room. I'll tell you this, though, boys. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, and Luke Musgrave are the future of this receiving core. I know people love Dobbs. Dobbs with a great toe tap catch in the back corner of the end zone. Great play. But those guys are creating separation. They're getting open. They're making plays in big time situations, all that.
Scramble drill. Jaden Reed saw it, popped over. All you got to do is get to space. Go to open grass. There's 53 yards and a half wide. You find some space. You've got room. And Jordan Love on the move. That's what I wanted to see a little bit more using his legs. And I think it did help him, when he climbed and actually was looking, and then that one time he did run, almost slipped away from TJ. But I also thought when we tried to run that read option there a couple times with AJ Dillon just to try to get him to bite, it seemed like they pulled a few plays from that Ravens game just to try to catch him looking. But
I agree. I think it's a good observation there. Togrel, again, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. I agree. Jordan was good today. If you remove those 2 interceptions at the end, I know I got you. Those are the biggest plays of the game. But you're down. You're trying to get it in the end zone. You're being a little more aggressive. That's why it's so frustrating. Some of the decisions he made, and like Mike points out right here. And again, Togrel, thank you for the super chat. Mike Ebering said, "Why force that throw to the end zone on the first INT?" Completely agree. There was, one time it was a 2nd and 9 play, right? 2nd and 9, and he forced it and threw the interception. I think that's the one you're talking about. It's like you've got to. We've seen it all year too, guys. This isn't the first time he's done it, right? So if there's a negative you take away from Jordan's game, let's start with the positive. The positive, in my opinion, his accuracy is improving. It's not perfect. Believe me, it's still. It may not even be. I would say it's probably good right now in the last 2 games. I wouldn't say it's great. I definitely wouldn't say it's elite. His accuracy is improving, right? I feel like his timing's improving a bit. It's not perfect, but it's improving. And the big thing you're seeing now is the lack of awareness in down and distance, like Mike's pointing out. Am I wrong there, Tim? Did you see it the same way? Because it's like you've got what, 2 more downs to play for, right? Why are we trying to get it all in one?
I believe he had Dillon in the flat too.
Don't you say that to me? What are you
I could be wrong though. Like, again, we're not looking at film just yet. Initial reaction, but yeah, I see that it's a decision-making thing, and I agree with you. I think, overall, we're not saying he's great, but I think if you look at this time last month, how Jordan was playing, and now this time here, a month removed, I do see a little bit more accuracy. I do see a little bit better timing, but then there are those plays where we see poor decision-making. We see standing in the pocket too long. I was happy to see a couple throwaways today, finally. It wasn't there. Scan, pockets breaking down. I got nowhere to go, and you could see maybe that internal clock kicked in a little bit. TJ Watt breathing down your neck all day will do that to you.
Yeah.
And, and that's not a knock on Zach Tom. Zach Tom was hands on the hip all day. He had all he could handle, but he was handling it for the most part, So, but I think Jordan, I would agree with that statement that there are still positives that we can pull out of this. But then it's like, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, it seems like sometimes. And, you'd like to think he's seeing things a little bit better at this point this year, but, I don't know. But credit to our receivers. You're right. I mean, Wicks and Reed today, again, these guys are rookies, and it still boggles my mind the way that they're playing.
Definitely. Smug Industries with the super chat, and then we're going to go to Matt LaFleur at the podium. The youth sports parents are out in full force to defend Jordan Love. People blame Watson, but there's no rule saying Love has to force the ball to him in the end zone. Is exactly what we've been saying, Smug. Completely agree. Listen, there's enough fault to go around, right? I think Jordan made mistakes. I think Christian should probably catch a couple of those 50-50 balls. I'm not a fan of everyone just all of a sudden pretending, not that you are, pretending that, okay, when you throw up a ball in a one-on-one situation, your receiver should come down with it. Football is not coached that way. I'm sorry, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about that right there, Emilio, with Smug Industries?
It's tough because, with Love throwing that deep ball, we said it before. Why has he got to push it on, those late runs? He's always trying to get it. He's always trying to take too much bite out of the cake, and we need to kind of let's just take a piece off and then we'll work at it. We'll get down the field. But it's half and half. It's a team game. Like I said before, Love's got to throw it. Watson's got to catch him. It happens for both. Mistakes were fewer this time, but we're still having mistakes. The team is still trying to come together. It hurts because we want it to happen so fast, and not seeing it come together quickly is where we're getting frustrated with the team and wanting it, to move on to the next thing because we're not getting production.
Yeah, I'm eager to see Jordan Love's PFF grade because the interceptions hurt. Obviously, it's going to drop it way down. If he hadn't had those picks, I would say probably say he would score in the mid to upper 70s, but he'll
Mhm.
probably drop into the 60s now would be my guess.
Right.
But thank you so much for the super chat, Smug. We appreciate you, buddy. Togger with the super chat says, I don't think the throw to Watson was bad, just a 50-50 ball. There is a reason it's called 50-50. He's young, first year as a starter. He'll get better. I agree he should get better. As far as the 50-50 ball, I mean, you're exactly right. That's what it is. 50% you catch it, 50% you don't. Problem is, you get another defender sweeping through as the ball's tipped. That 50-50 ball where it's just, it's either going to catch or it's going to drop, ends up being a turnover in the red zone.
That's a 70-30 ball. You got a DB with a safety coming across.
Right.
That ball shouldn't have been put there. I'm sorry, that's not a 50-50 ball in my opinion. It's kind of like you said, Clayton, like, if we got him one-on-one and he's got a step or maybe even stride for stride, you might lay that ball out there, give your guy a chance to go out there one-on-one and make a play. But, man, you got to know what that defense is in. And you're running out of real estate up the sideline, man. You're going into the end zone. You got a sideline on your left side, a defender, stride for stride with you, and safety help coming from the weak side. Ball shouldn't have been thrown, period. It is what it is, though.
Right.
Yeah, right. And if he catches it, what are we saying, Emilio? What a great play. What a great play.
That's my quarterback.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, but to that point, the Steelers were true to who they were. They were +9 or +8 or +9. 16 turnovers this year. They got 2 more. We said we had to protect the ball. It didn't happen. Yes, it came late in the game. But when Matt was preaching back in the Saints game, we got to be +2. I'm wondering if he was preaching something along those lines this week, and it just didn't turn out. We played better, penalty wise. We had fewer of them, but we still, the turnover battle is always key. You got to hold on to the pigskin.
Yeah, and speaking of turnovers, right there in the first quarter, that Keyshawn Nixon interception, you could not have called a better coverage than Joe Barry called on that play. You had 2 defenders, both Rudy Ford and Keyshawn Nixon, there to jump the route. And Keyshawn Nixon jumps it perfectly, doesn't get the second foot in. I don't know if you guys seen Rasul Douglas, but he tweeted on Twitter.
Did you see Casey Hayward right underneath them too?
What did he say?
Hayward was like, he co-signed. He was like, yeah, for real, man. Get your feet in. They were just little playful ribbing.
But you know what, man? It wasn't like a tough grab and, drag your feet. Like it was just, he just lost awareness, right? And again, that's another chalk it up. Devondre Campbell later in the game, kind of could have had another pick, right? That's 2 more interceptions in this game where the defenders just didn't haul them in, right?
Well, the turnover we did create on the backwards pass didn't help us either, since we didn't get that. That was
next in the notes.
What a great play by Carrington Valentine to be alert to see that ball on the ground and not quit on that play, despite the refs blowing it dead foolishly.
Moron.
Yep. Yeah, and he finished that through, and then you had Rashan over the top taking it into the end zone. Mm-hmm. So, you want to see that. If you're a coach, you definitely want to see that with your defense playing through the end of the play. It's never over till it's over. Trust your gut. But my gosh, I think the whole world saw a backwards pass there. I just that one hurt, man. We that would have put us in plus territory. We needed that.
Yeah. And they preached to let it play out, So yeah, let's just blow it dead real quick on something real questionable like that. When the quarterback takes a 7-step drop and throws it forward, all right, blow it dead. But dude, that was it was tough.
And then to burn a challenge and a timeout in the process, trying to get it right when it should have been right on the field. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
It's tough, man. Godsmack AR69 with the super chat. Appreciate you, pal. He says, time to give DeGuara the old Das Boot.
Roadhouse.
You're seeing, guys, he's seeing less and less time on the field. He is on his way out. There's no doubt about it.
We got a bigger dose of Tucker Kraft today. That was noticeable.
And he thumped him too. Did you see him thump TJ Watt?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And
I didn't notice any situation where I was like, Tucker Kraft. Like, to me, it looked like he held his own.
He had a nice grab over the middle too today.
Yeah, for sure. And absorbed a hit on it too. With that being said, thank you so much, Godsmack. We appreciate the super chat, and that's definitely a swing and a miss by Goot there in the third round, no doubt. Togger with the super chat said, also don't get the call on 3rd and 11, drawing that horizontal pass like Love all day was converting those 3rd and long downs. Why just won't you let him pass? If you guys seen, I tweeted out on Twitter, I said, once again, the defense stands tall, gives us an opportunity to win the game. Let's see if Jordan Love can do it. And then my next tweet, I just quote tweeted that and put, no, instead we're going to let our rookie wide receiver throw the pass instead of our quarterback that we pretty much ran a, 4-time MVP out of
It's
town.
like LaFleur forgot that we don't have Randall Cobb anymore for plays like this. We could trust Randy on the gadget play because he played a little quarterback in his day. I don't think we have a guy like that in this
right
this receiver core.
But Matt trusts him, man. He really trusts him to throw a ball to ask a rookie to throw a ball that many times this year. I mean, hey, get it in his hands, let him throw the ball. That's a lot of trust. And he's looking for him. You're thinking play or not play. He's looking for him in those big moments. That deep in, he likes Wicks, man, and he's been showing up.
Yeah, Wicks is, like I said, he's leading the Packers, according to PFF, in separation yards on his routes. So we've definitely got us one there. I think we got us one in Musgrave. Again, people making fun of Musgrave for falling down. Did you see where the pass was?
Yep.
It was on his back shoulder. Again, had all this open space down the seam, throws it behind him. People immediately, the memes go flying that Musgrave doesn't have balance. He can't stand up straight.
No, Jordan knew that was a bad ball right as he threw it. I mean, he threw it behind the field goal post, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Definitely. But yeah, we agree, Togrel. That's a tough look, man. The goal is to go vertical. The goal is to go towards the goal line. And people, I'm telling you, man, they're all over the place saying, oh, it's a good play call, just bad execution. How many times are we going to say that? How many times before it's shame on me rather than shame on you, right? Like the fact that you're going to call that you want to throw the ball, like I said, 25 yards across the field, then 30 to 35 yards back across the field and expect – I mean, you're talking about 60 yards, 60 air yards on one play to not gain 1 yard. I'm sorry, that's just low percentage play. You're trying to hit the home run, you don't have to hit the home run. The game, I felt like, was pretty well in hand. I felt like we had the momentum up till that point. We had the momentum, no doubt about it. So, again, though, good things happened. A.J. Dillon had a great game. I don't know why, like I said in the pregame show going in, just kind of felt like this was teed up for Dillon to have a good game. I wish he'd have got a few more carries, but then again, we've been screaming for Aaron Jones to get the ball, and Aaron Jones got completely shut out. Listen, I'm a big Aaron Jones fan, but if you see it, you got to say it. Either he's still not healthy or, unfortunately, Aaron has hit the wall. And I didn't even want to say that live on the air, but I love Aaron Jones, dude. I don't want it to be over, but when you've seen him get the ball, granted they were loading the box when he got the ball, A.J. Dillon looked like the better back today. And we got to look at the all-22 and look at the box cam and all that stuff. I got you. But just tough to see Jonesy out there fighting, and he doesn't look comfortable. Even on those catches, it seems like he's bobbling most of the catches. He dropped the pass from Tay Wicks that we're talking about. He just still doesn't look like himself, and I hope it's not the end for Jones, man, because I love that dude. He's everything that's right about being a Green Bay Packer. There's no doubt. But again, Togrel, thank you for the super chat. Josh Martin with the super chat says, outside of running fast, what does Watson do well? He can't high point the ball, doesn't fight for the ball, drops the ball, gets hurt a lot.
He can block. He's been blocking well this year.
Emilio said he can block.
You call me anything you want, but don't call me that.
All right. I can't imagine that a receiver wants to be called a good blocker and not good at anything else.
No, man, but like he's got it, dude. We didn't think Tay was Tay in second year. I mean, he was Drops McGee. So
here you are bringing us back down to earth.
I like his hustle when he blocks. I do. Christian wants to engage. He gets up in the shoulder pads. But how are we going to say, this early that we know exactly who he's going to be right now, right in this moment, when we have no idea what the future holds and how this team has been taking those, little steps forward. We don't know what's going to happen coming into, the end of the season next year, whatever,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's tough, man. Like I said, I'm a Watson fan. I want him to work out. In no way, shape, or form I think we should cut him or trade him. But you know what? If there are other people creating more separation, if there are other people, catching those contested balls, which I don't think they are, all it means is you got more competition, man. You play the hot hand and don't be afraid to play these rookies. I'm so proud of freaking Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave, and Dontavian Wicks. I'm telling you, they're really coming on, guys, really coming on strong. And Dobbs, again, the tutter, right? Great catch in the corner of the end zone. But, yeah, good stuff. All right. Thank you again for the super chat there, Josh. Mike Hebring with the super chat says, "Did Rashan play today? Too much, not much since the signing, bro?" I immediately went to the stats because I felt the same way, Mike, and I know you've talked about it the last 2 weeks. But again, kind of felt like, okay, they may try to stop the run and be a little less aggressive on the edges. That didn't work. Right?
No, I think they were going for Pickett each time. Even every time those edges were coming free on the outside handoff rollout sort of thing, they always went for Pickett. They never crashed on the run.
Right. Rashan Gary had 3 tackles and 1 quarterback hit. Again, I didn't notice him much. Tim, did you notice him much out there, or did I just miss it? Because to me, there was one play I remember he did rush way up the field and gave up that scramble. But again, I felt like that was on Devontae Wyatt. That was there on that last drive or next to last drive.
I thought it was on Wyatt too.
Yeah, Wyatt he kind of spun back inside and just lost where he was at. And again, when people ask, why is Wyatt grading so low? Those are the type of things we're seeing. I've said it every single week, Tim. It's like he plays a bit reckless, right? Great pass rusher. He and Kenny ran a TT stunt early, hit home, caused pressure, forced a 3rd down incompletion and made him punt. But outside of just strictly pass rushing, man, it's just the guy I don't know. He doesn't play with good balance, and it kind of goes with what Mike Wall always says, right? Where he says, how you arrive at confrontation determines how you handle confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
And he just seems like he's not a very good tackler, and he just can't get his balance and awareness towards the ball carrier. But what did you think of Rashan Gary today, Tim? Did you see anything different there, buddy?
No, I see it that way. Pretty quiet day. I just referenced him flying in on that backwards pass, finishing that play. That was something I noticed. Falling on the ball, taking it in the end zone, and of course, we didn't get much benefit out of that, but he was in on that. But yeah, pretty quiet day from Rashan. And you're right. I don't want to. Got to be careful here. I don't want to knock Rashan, but the trend is looking like more and more that he's kind of one-dimensional, And granted, that one dimension that he's in, he's owning it. He's a very technical rusher, does a lot of things with his hands and his feet there. You talk about body control and balance there, rushing off the edge, but that's kind of it. Pursuit to the flat, taking bad angles. Like you said, against the run, not a strong suit, which is kind of the case for a lot of our defenders, unfortunately. So yeah, pretty quiet day from Rashan. Now, granted, it's been 2 weeks since the signing, so we'll give him a little more time. But yeah, it doesn't, kind of coincidentally here, it doesn't look great. You just got a big trunk full of money, and you're kind of underperforming a little bit. What do we have snap counts on him? Because I saw a lot of Kingsley and Igbari peppered in out there today too, especially on rundowns. We saw that.
We'll have the snap counts in the morning for sure. I don't have them right now. I kind of felt like he was on the field more today than he has been. But again,
that's what I was thinking. Like, it seems odd that he'd be so quiet because I feel like he got his most opportunities today.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Did feel like I saw LVN a lot though.
Yeah,
we did. We saw some Van Ness reps for sure.
Yeah. There was another play too where it was an inside cutback where you could tell LVN was trying to set the edge, and whoever was playing on the backside, they bit on the toss. It was a quick toss play, cut back inside, and whoever came up on the late rotation, I don't know if it was a safety or who, but they over pursued outside, and him and LVN ran into each other when he should have stayed back just a touch. And again, you're talking about Monday morning quarterbacking right here, right?
Sure.
Because we've talked about over and over how, God, why are these guys so late to the ball? Why aren't they more aggressive, right? Well, there's a situation where they were overly aggressive, and it cost them a first down, if I remember correctly. But Tolgirl with the super chat, thank you, sir. He said, bro, Josh Martin got me really thinking about Watson. Josh Martin over here winning them over for sure. The chat is absolutely lit up. I'm going to do my best to kind of get, I don't want to say caught up, but try to hit on some of these regular chats in here.
I do like Kylo's point right there while we're working on through the chats, Clayton. This offense couldn't do anything weeks ago. 400 yards today. I think they had at 399, whatever. That's a win. Not going to be the greatest show on turf year one of a new era. That's it, really. Like, we've been begging for this. Jordan Love almost broke his 300-yard game. I think he was, 289 and 2-2. So those 2 picks that didn't happen in the last 3 minutes, we would be freaking out if he was 289 with, 2 touchdowns or whatever. We have no idea what could have happened different, but it's just exciting to see that we are making those little steps. It's just not, we're not winning those close ones. It's a game of inches. It was a couple things this way, a couple things that way that didn't roll. And it's what happens, man.
Yeah, once again, another game that we're in we were in the mix all day long today. You know, it was never out of reach. You know, just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. Let's see here. We got Brooke with the super chat. Brooke, I had your regular chat marked there. I was going to read it, but thank you for the super chat. Said, why didn't we try to score at the end of the first half? You know, it was that play, and everything's a blur to me, Brooke. I think the guys, when we talked about it offline, said there was a penalty that kind of forced them back a bit, is what we're thinking. And again, we don't like to make too many comments without going back and watching it, but I agree. This whole first half thing, and again, this is something, if you listen to the play callers, it's something that Kyle Shanahan talked about. You know, he said when he was a young coach coming up under his dad said, you know, first of all, Kyle was calling the plays in Washington for his dad, and as the head coach, not as a quarterback. Okay, Kyle wasn't OCing for old man Shanahan out there, right? So he would call it a Hail Mary before halftime, and the ball got picked off, and his dad like cussed him out on the way to the locker room. And said, what are you doing? You know, comment. He's like, you kidding me? Like, he's like, I'm trying to score points. And Mike Shanahan, Kyle's dad, said something along the lines of, yeah, now my quarterback's going into halftime with an extra interception on the stat sheet. And Kyle said, well, I don't care what the stat sheet looks like. I'm trying to score points and win a game, right? And that sounds logical to me for the most part. But then Kyle said as he got older in his career, now he finds himself coaching the same way because it matters. Confidence matters, right? Mm-hmm. I'm with you. It's kind of a tough look. When you don't even try to score there, they went very conservative, but it seemed like something happened in the early downs. It might have been a penalty. It might have been a loss of yards. Something kind of pushed them back a bit. I still would have tried to score. That's just me personally. But I can kind of understand the sentiment either way. But thank you for the super chat, Brooke. We appreciate it. Mike Ebring with the super chat said, Gary PFF 50.4 with the versus the Vikings, 61.6 versus the Rams. Steelers. If I had to guess what his PFF grade is against the Steelers today, God, it's hard to tell. I would probably say in the 60s would be my guess. I didn't see too many plays, if any, where I was like, man, Gary really blew it there. But he was a non-factor, and typically that puts you somewhere in the 60s, you know, if you're just kind of, you know, in between there. But let's do this. Let's thank you all for the super chat. Really appreciate it. We'll get back to those here in just a second. I want to share the screen here and see what Coach LaFleur had to say real quick. Then we'll get back to some statistics and things like that as well. Let me see if I can find it here. All right, here we go. Here's Coach LaFleur at the podium a few minutes ago.
And like many times that we've seen on tape, their defense makes a play. They got 2 picks to kind of close it out. And I thought there was a lot of things that we did well in all 3 phases. And then there's some things that were just really killer. A couple plays here and there. Obviously, offensively, the turnovers in the red zone was a problem today. Defensively, stopping the run, we had way too many missed tackles. And then on special teams, anytime you get a PAT blocked, I mean, it just changes some of the decision making at the end of a game where you're going for touchdowns instead of having the option.
That's a great point. I didn't think about that.
The game up. But I do think that there was a lot of good that came out of this in terms of just we knew. We challenged our team to go out there and compete for 4 quarters. And I felt from the opening kickoff to the final whistle, we did that. And I'm confident if we continue with this, that we will end up on the other side of this.
How do you think Jordan handled that last 1-minute situation in the getting him down the field?
Yeah, I mean, he put us in position to win the game. We had an opportunity there. I thought, you know, when we checked the ball down to Aaron Jones, I thought there was an opportunity to get out of bounds right there, and we didn't. And that was critical because that wasted a ton of time. And we would have had a couple opportunities at the end of the game. That was like 20 seconds or so. It felt like forever. He was trying to get us in a position where we were going to have one of the receivers chip the edge. That took too long. Just the whole operation there was not good enough. But I did think he made a couple plays, a couple throws to put us in position to have a shot, to at least take a shot at the end zone.
What were you looking for from the 16 on that last play?
Well, it's a play that we practice all the time as an end-of-game play. And, you know, most good defenses like Pittsburgh has, they're going to defend the goal line. And you try to run a corner route to flush a defender out of there, and you hit basically an in-cut behind it, and, you know, they didn't back up.
Matt,
Did you get any clarification on any further clarification on the lateral that they ruled a forward pass? Was there any further discussion after that?
Did you see a giggle?
Pretty clear to me, but somebody else felt differently. So
It was clear to us too, Matt.
I guess I was wrong.
Mhm.
Is there anything you saw from your run defense? I mean, last 2 weeks, 2.5 yards of play, and this week 200 yards. Anything you can kind of gather from the run defense today?
Yeah, a lot of missed tackles. We knew they were going to try to run the football, and they did it better than we did. They went out there and executed better than we did. We had a lot of calls designed to stop the run, and they were still gashing us. So it certainly wasn't good enough. Anytime, I want to say, what was it, 5.5 yards a carry, or roughly. You can't give up almost 200 yards rushing in this league and expect to win football games.
There you go.
You were gaining momentum.
Exactly what y'all were
point, in the third quarter, I think you had 6 or 7 times you got off the field on third down, went ahead with field goals. You feel like you were kind of gaining momentum at some point, in the second half before their field goals?
I did, but I thought we kicked too many field goals. We when you get in position to go score touchdowns, you got to convert, and I got to go back and look at the tape and see why we got stopped. But yeah, those are missed opportunities in my mind.
Coach, were you happy with the offensive line?
All right, let's do this. Since we were already kind of talking about the play there, I've actually got it from my tweet earlier today. I'm gonna pull it up here and let's look at it here and see if anyone disagrees that this is a backwards pass here. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
That's Green Bay's football.
I love how you said that's Green Bay football.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Right there where it just works its way back. That's the Coriolis effect. The earth is spinning the ball. That's why they didn't give us the call. It was because they said that was a natural,
Look at where the ball is when Kenny throws it, okay? Look where it leaves his hand, right there, right? Okay.
Yeah, where's that ball going? That ball ain't going forward.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this.
It comes back across those stairs.
Yep. What I love too is the guy, Sterator said, the angle should make it look like it's going forward more because the angle is behind. It'd be different if it was in front, right? So you're getting kind of that opposite effect of what he's trying to say. But yeah, that's a tough call, guys. I mean, there's no two ways about it.
Matt knew it.
That is really, really tough.
Hey, and on the blocked PAT, I alluded to this last week, man. Left side of the line is a liability on place kicking, and that's what got our extra point block today. I believe it was DeGuara who absolutely whiffed and blocked nobody on that extra point, and it cost us.
Yeah, definitely did. Chris Ann said Matt LaFleur makes me want to hurt myself. Cheesehead Murph says, agreed, Mike. I keep saying that. Circumstances are different. If he does block him and we make it, let's see here. I like what Steve Israel says. Is Emilio trying to look like Matt LaFleur?
No, come on. Mine comes in a lot. Look at that.
I created a kind of a watch party / chat that we could jump in and out of during the game. And I looked down and I seen someone join. It was Emilio, but I was like, who's? And it said, what did it say? What was your name?
Mexican Italian.
It just said Mexican Italian. So I guess he's trying to be French now too, looking like Matty LaFleur over there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Jake Shavink said Sterator backing up the ref ruling on the broadcast was so predictable.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Sterator was stumbling over his words a little bit too. Yeah, well, I know how you feel, but they kind of called it, and
yeah, and Charles Davis, who was talking there on the broadcast, he's from Elizabethton. Did you know that, Emilio?
Is he?
Went to Elizabethton High School right up the road from us here in Tennessee. Yeah. Yeah, he ain't blowing smoke up his rear, and he's like, I don't care what you say, dude. That's a backwards pass. Like, come on.
And stood his ground on it, too.
Yeah. Robert Allen throwing up the 250 rubies or whatever it is. I can't remember what he's name. I remember the first time
he peso.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I think so.
They got it.
Yeah.
My bad.
The rubies.
You can tell I'm ignorant. The first time he donated like this, I immediately was ready to message him and go, hey, what's your Venmo? I'm sending that back to you because I thought he did $250. So
yeah,
thank goodness, a little bit different in currency there. But he said, I saw progress. I said ruby. So I saw progress on most fronts, but the run defense was hard to watch. Need a Vita Vea top in the middle. In my opinion, Texas kid, 360 pounds, looks good. and it was a lateral. Agree with all of it, man.
Mhm.
Again, we don't have that guy up front that can play both the run and the pass. You know, Kenny has just not been that guy, and he got after the quarterback again today, Tim. It's so tough though, because if you're going to pay that kind of money to someone, man, they better be top 5 at their position, no doubt.
Yep.
All right, let's see what else we got here. They're going after my boy here. Lance Dominguez says quarterback's bad. Defensive coordinator is bad. Play calling is trash. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you dropping through, brother.
Thanks for calling.
Omer said, "Oh, look, he's got the he's got the crying LaFleur back with the
no.
profile pic." Coach is trash and his assistants no better. Fire him off. He says clean house. He gives it the Donald Trump effect. You're fired.
Mhm.
So Cheesehead Murph, Wheelan. What do you say?
Carlson
Wheelan. Okay, Carlson and Wheelan have been. I was like, I didn't know it was his first name. Carlson and Wheelan have been a bright spots as well on special teams. It's been blocking. The block kick really did hurt, like LaFleur said, and I didn't really think about it until he mentioned it just now. That does kind of change how the rest of the game plays out as far as play call and all that good stuff. So as far as the rest of my second quarter notes, we'll get back to the chat here in a second, gang. As far as the second quarter notes. First down incompletions, inexcusable. I mean, you got your running game going. I think A.J. Dillon in the second quarter that's where he hit that 39-yard gain, whatever it was.
Yep.
And then the very next, I mean, you get right back to the line of scrimmage, and what did you do, Tim? You come out and you threw on first down. You ran on second down. You threw on third down. You're punting, right? You're just getting away from those first down runs. You got keep the freaking keep your foot on the pedal, man. Keep your foot on the gas. Drive them
You
into
shouldn't have to say that. LaFleur was the all gas, no break. What happened to that, Matt LaFleur? You know, because you're right. We finally got one. We got a chunk run out of A.J. Dillon today.
Yeah,
it was a thing of beauty. We didn't do much with it. You're correct. We also got a 50-yard kickoff return from Keyshawn Nixon that we threw in the toilet and flushed. We did nothing with that drive either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you're right.
Oh, we're gonna give him some.
We also gave him a half field on a kickoff, giving it the ball out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
So that's exactly
it. What else y'all got? Keep them going.
Hey, too bad we didn't have any of them left-handed footballs, right, Clayton?
Hey, man, that might have made a difference.
Hey, you got any left-handed footballs?
I don't know, man. I know this. I agree with the chat, though, about Steratore. I really think
I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
Uh-huh.
That's my advice to Steratore right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, look at Chris in. Now he's just in here being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Hire Michael LaFleur.
Oh, no.
Yeah, tough. It's a tough one. All right, third quarter notes.
Mike
John Nixon, 49-yard return. Then you had well, first of all, there late in the second quarter, you had that Love pass to Reed in the corner of the end zone. Absolute dime. What a beautiful throw. Perfect accuracy. Great job shielding the defender, slowing down a little bit to body him off and make the catch. Then Love and Jones in the passing game really started to heat up there in the third quarter. You had Musgrave with the 37-yard grab. And then, of course, you get the explosive play when Pittsburgh got the ball back. And guess what, guys? It was press man. Press man, 28-yard throw, back shoulder down the sideline. It's tough, man. It's tough. When you give up explosive plays, it leads to extra points, obviously. It triples your opportunity to score on that drive. So that was a tough look there. Anything stood out to you guys in the third quarter with anything I said there? Obviously, like you said, Tim, the Keyshawn Nixon kick return, huge. Too bad we couldn't maximize it. I don't think they scored a touchdown on that play, did they? Or on that drive, did they? I can't remember exactly.
No, we 3-and-outed. We 3-and-outed after a 50-yard kickoff return.
Yeah. Well, Tim, what happened was we were right in that butter zone of like the 45 to like 35, and Matt LaFleur wants to take a 5-yard penalty and then punt it. That's kind of like where we love to sit.
Yeah,
right there in the opposing territory.
But it's just so frustrating, right?
Yeah.
You get a return from your guy. That's literally what Keyshawn is paid to do, other than play slot corner. He's here to return kicks. And he breaks one off for us. We got momentum. It's time. And what do we do?
Yeah.
I believe we threw on first down on that drive as well. We'll have to, don't quote me on that, but we'll have to look at the film. But yeah, man, I felt like we made somewhat of an effort to run the ball today. Like you said, Dylan, clearly the best foot forward, but let's stop listening to me and go to QB1 here instead.
Nice transition. I love that.
Here we go.
AJ, we've seen earlier this season times when kind of gone downfield in that situation. What went through your thought process of taking what was there and living from the next play?
Yeah, well, the play we had, they did a good job just kind of covering the outside, not letting us get out of bounds where we're trying to. And, really it's 4th and 2. I'm just trying to get the first down right there, get a clock so we get a, ensure another play there, take a shot at the end zone. So, yeah, that was really thinking right there.
Jordan, obviously the offense in general was a lot better as far as start to finish today than some other games, but not to be rude, but you getting sick of losing games this way with these final possessions?
No, I love it.
It's very frustrating. Like I said, we've been put in the situation a lot of times, and we have not found a way to win it. So yeah, it is frustrating, but we just got to find a way, dig deeper. But it comes down to so many different plays in the game throughout the course of the game that just we can execute better and take advantage of some of those situations. And I don't even think we'll put ourselves in this position at the end of the game. But yeah, we got to definitely find a way.
What did you kind of see on that first interception to Christian Watson? Kind of where we trying to put the ball, I guess, and just the overall thoughts on the play? Yeah, we ran a double move on the outside. We ran out earlier, and they jumped it a little bit. So ran the double move. I thought I was able to get Christian over the top, and I was trying to put the ball over the top where only he can get it. The DB was able to make a good play, get a hand on it, tip it up. So yeah.
Did you feel like you left that throw a little short? Is there anything that you could have done differently, or is that just a hell of a play by the DB?
I haven't seen it yet on film, but it might have been short. With him to be able to get a hand on it. It was a terrific play by him, but you can look at it and say, I wish I would have put a little bit more out there. Where only Christian can get it and make a play on it. So yeah, but kudos to him. He made a great play.
First play of the final drive there. First of all, in that situation, what's going through your mind? And were you able to even see Jaden make that catch? Or you got leveled pretty good on the play?
Yeah, like I said, starting the 2-minute drive off, we got a minute left. We know we need some chunk plays right there. So they I worked on my progression, and I was trying to throw the ball more downfield, and I got hit on it, so the ball drifted left. I don't know if the safety was able to see where the ball was at, but Jay Reed made a great play right there, tracking the ball down, making a catch, and obviously getting out of bounds right there. So that was a huge start to the drive.
Yep.
All right. That was QB1. Like I said, we may go back to the podium if anyone else talks. I will say this, as he was talking there, coming down the stretch of that 4th down interception, this final play of the game, the interception in the end zone. Remove that play. He took them right down the field, didn't he? It just hit me as he was talking. I was sitting there going, you know what, man? They game on the line, pushing the ball down the field, right?
In like 40 seconds.
Yeah. And bad decision, like I said, throwing to Jonesy in the flat, not getting out of bounds. That's probably more on Jones, right, Tim, than Love not getting out. But yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah, I didn't love that. When he cut back inside, I was like, Jonesy, I would have loved to no gain, get out of bounds. Then maybe Love, wouldn't have. But like we said, that's a game of inches. That split-second decision for Jones to cut inside instead of cutting outside cost us another 12 seconds. That Love could have used to throw another inside slant further down the road, further down the field, not having to throw that deep ball. So it really is just a little everything.
Yeah. So Josh Martin said, how were we on our predictions? All right. So obviously I'm gonna filter this down to the people who picked the Steelers to win. All right. We only had three listeners that had the Steelers winning. And the one that came closest to the best of my knowledge is Jake Shavink. He had Pittsburgh 20-16. What did it end up being? 23-19?
19.
Yeah, so pretty close. He picked the winner, and I'd say he got closer than anyone.
And by 4. Yeah, of course, Jake's, the brainiacs. He's always cooking. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Tim, you said 2017 Green Bay, pretty close as far as, the final score. I said 17-14 Green Bay. Of course, in the first half, I was pretty close, right?
Mm-hmm.
But funny how that works. Let's see. Omer said 9-3 Steelers, and he said it did go to extra innings. Anyway, let's see what else we got in here real quick in the chat. We're approaching the 50-minute mark. Fourth quarter notes. Let's do that real quick, okay? LaFleur with the trick play. Get those cheeks out of here. I can't stand it. I'm so sick of it. Ballantyne had back-to-back pass breakups with them testing him deep. Valentine, I'm expecting Valentine to have a pretty good score, guys. Did he get called for any penalties? You guys remember? I don't think he did.
I don't think so either.
If he didn't, expect his PFF grade to be right there in the top 3, maybe top 5 on the team. That's just my personal guess there. More missed tackles in the fourth quarter. Again, I didn't see it as a scheme thing. I just seen bad execution, bad tackling. Second down interception, absolutely huge. Like I said, you got 2 other downs to work with. Why force it back there to Watson? Of course, you heard QB1 talking about that just now. The defense, again, I've got to give credit to the defense because 2 different occasions, the very end of the game, you needed stops. They got you stops, right? And they give your offense a chance to go down and win the game. And then, of course, the second Love INT there at the end of the game, which that's one of those plays, 3 seconds left. You just got to give you guys a shot, right? So, Tim, what else do you got, man? Anything else you want to hit on? And we'll wrap up with the chat here.
I just shout out my buddy Tony in the chat. This time next year, everyone will have had faith in Jay Love since day one.
Oh, no
I
doubt,
love it.
No doubt about it.
Love it, Tony.
I love it. I love it. But no, you know what, Clayton, when you're talking about the defense, man, you know, it's an absolute miracle of the football gods and our Packer faith as fans that we gave up 205 yards of rushing and found ourselves in this game all day.
Yeah.
I mean, they ran all through us, and it's so frustrating. And it was, you know, LaFleur said it himself, you know, we had calls designed to stop the run and we still got gashed. And we saw that like time and time again. And then, you know, going back to the offense, there were times that I saw single high safety with Pittsburgh, and we're in a run set, box is loaded, and we're running right into the teeth of this defense. Why are we not checking out and taking a shot in these situations? And then we get safety help, and we get a bomb over the top into double coverage. So there's still kinks and things being ironed out here on both sides of the ball. But, you know, there's something about this team, man, because, you know, again, another very close game, a game we were in literally to the last second. So, you know, it's not all bad, guys. We have to find some positivity, and there were some bright spots today for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Emilio, what you got, buddy?
Just adding to Tim's point there. I mean, it feels like everything we talked about this week came into perspective. You know, turnovers were big. You know, we saw a couple of those sprint lefts that we saw on tape. We saw Warren, like I said, 5'8", 215 bowling ball. Nobody could tackle him. Seemed like he popped off 10-yard runs every time. You know, missed tackles were big. LVN tried to tackle Najee high. It's just little things, man. It really is. I feel like we are close as a team. That's why Matt's, you know, I feel like that's why he's, you know, so behind the team and everything like that. We do have talent. It's there. It's just hasn't all come together. Sometimes we're shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties. Sometimes it's special teams mistakes, a little bit of everything today. You know, offensive, defensive mistakes. Just kind of tough, man.
Rob Domofsky had an interesting tweet. He tweeted out, you know, roughly an hour ago during the game. He said that was Jordan Love's 4th INT this season when targeting Christian Watson. He has 9 total for the season. And then he quote tweeted that and put, make that 5 INTs when targeting Watson this season. Game over. So,
After the second one. Yeah.
It's tough, man, because to me, it's not anything against Christian Watson. It's you're trying to force it to him is the way I see it. Throw to the open receiver. Let's stop with the jump ball crap, right? And again, if you think that Christian Watson is Randy Moss 2.0, I respectfully disagree. If they think the game plan should be, let's just throw a jump ball to Christian Watson, I disagree with the play call, disagree with the decision, I disagree with the coaches. But this whole thing that you know, Christian Watson is just absolute trash because he doesn't haul in 50-50 balls, I don't like that game plan going in. And again, it's just my personal preference. I'm a very boring football fan. But with that being said,
it's just kind of, sorry, Clayton. It's just with that, I mean, he's always thinking play or not play. It's just tough if he's always thinking Christian Watson and not, hey, you know, Wicks has been my player today, or, you know, Jaden Reed has been my player today. Anything like that, I just, you know, we got to kind of look outside of that. And honestly, on those last ones, I'd rather see a hook and lateral when they're all on the line like that. I'd rather see something, you know, a little bit more schoolyard, you know, backyard, you know, kind of pitch it around because everyone's sitting on the line anyway. It's not like you're going to hum it in there real easy.
Right.
But.
Yeah. Tim, we're good. You got anything else before we give this jersey away?
Bal and Val, man. Bal and Val. That's all I'll say. They were coming hard at Valentine today.
Yeah, the Tines.
Yeah.
And I think Valentine will have a low score, but it's mainly because of that penalty,
Yep.
But go ahead, though. There was something else you were going to say. I'm sorry.
I just thought it was cool to see Corey Ballantyne getting picked on all day. They were going his way, picking on him all day long, and he wasn't having any of it. And so that's a bright spot in this secondary. And we got to say it, man. Yeah, we gave up 205 rushing yards on the ground today, but TJ Slayton, man, I felt like TJ Slayton is earning his paycheck up front, and that's another bright spot. So that's all I got. Let's give away a jersey, man. Let's do it.
TJ Slayton, 8 tackles. Let's run through the stats real quick one last time. Jordan Love, 21 of 40 for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, a rating of 71.8. A.J. Dillon, 9 carries for 70 yards, 7.8 a pop. Aaron Jones, 13 carries for 35 yards, 2.7 a pop. Jaden Reed led all receivers. He had 5 targets, caught every single target thrown his way, 5 catches, 84 yards, and a tutter. Luke Musgrave got targeted 4 times, had 2 catches for 64 yards with a long of 36. Dontavian Wicks, 3 catches, 51 yards with a long of 32. Romeo Dobbs, 3 catches, 31 yards with a tutter and a long of 20. Christian Watson was targeted 5 times, only had 2 catches for 23 yards. And then if you slide down to the defensive side of the ball, Rudy Ford, 10 tackles. I will say this, though. He should have had 15. That guy missed a lot of tackles today. I'm expecting a lower grade for him personally.
Shaking the rust off.
Yeah, exactly. Isaiah McDuffie, 10 total tackles, 1 quarterback hit, had a good game. I'm expecting his grade to be pretty decent. Jonathan Owens, 8 tackles, 1 pass defended. Like you said, TJ Slayton, 8 tackles, 4 of those were solo. Corey Ballantyne, 6 tackles, 2 passes defense. And then Preston Smith, 4 tackles, had a sack, a tackle for a loss, and a QB hit. So Preston Smith showed up to play again today. All right, let's do it. Let's give away a jersey.
Can I sneak one more thing in before we do that?
Go ahead, man.
Keyshawn Nixon continues to play solid in the slot, much to the dismay of our early predictions. I feel like he had another solid game in the slot today. So shout out to Keyshawn Nixon, more than just a returner.
Yeah, definitely. I just wish he'd got those toes in on that pick. I mean, imagine if he hauls in that interception, and then Sterator and his crew gets their head, well, it wasn't his crew, but the officiating crew gets their head out of their rear end.
Yep.
They wasn't more confused than a fart in a fan factory, then we probably win this ball game.
Hey, if I'm not LaFleur, I'm gonna give him a little hell in the locker room jokingly and say, hey man, I keep hearing you want to get inserted into this offense. You gotta come up with those balls on the sideline.
Yeah, I think that would be a fair way to handle it.
That would have given them their +2 if that's what Matt was preaching. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Here it is. This is for the autographed Dave Robinson jersey. And what we're going to do, all the YouTube members who had become YouTube members by midnight last night or 11:59 last night, what we did was put your name on the list. We got 106 entries here. We're going to spin it 3 times, okay? The first one to draw, that's the first place winner. If we can't get a hold of them in an ample amount of time, we'll move on to the second winner. If we can't get a hold of them, we'll move on to the third winner. Also, if you've already won a piece of memorabilia from us and you win, don't feel obligated to give it away. You know what I mean? It's the reason you guys are subscribers every month. So if you win, you win. Not subscribers, but YouTube members of the PTA Posse. But if you want to be kind and give that piece of memorabilia away since you already won one, I think that's also a cool thing to do. Y'all ready to spin it?
Let's do it.
Somebody hit me with the drum roll.
Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy.
No whammy. Stop.
Oh, what do we got?
Gunsmoke Games. All right, Gunsmoke
Games.
It about landed on Emilio, and I'm sorry, Emilio. I need to take you off that list. You are a YouTube member, but I left it on there and was like, you know what? If Emilio wins it, I'm going to make him handpick somebody and give it away. So
that's been fun.
Yeah, you missed it by 2. All right, here we go.
All right.
In case Gunsmoke Games doesn't come forward, if you're in the chat, speak up now, please. But if not, like I said, just reach out in an email. I have a way to verify that it is you. So no cheating out there, guys. Don't be trying to create a fake account. I will call you out on it, and you will be blocked from the channel. All right, here we go.
Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy. Stop.
Oh, what do we got? Tasting.
Oh.
Zarmonsky, is that right?
Zarnopsky.
Such a cool name.
Zarnomsky.
Sounds like a GTA character, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
One of the auto-generated ones that just kind of stick together. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so one more spin here, just in case those two don't come forward.
That's a good spin. What do we got?
It's a good spin.
You put some weight into that one.
Oh, look at here. Tim Tebow's younger brother, Jason Tebow.
Nice.
What?
There you
Dude.
go. All right. All right. So, like I said, we will we'll reach you guys reach out in an email, okay? If you're in the chat, just go ahead and speak up. But again, the first place winner there for the autographed Dave Robinson jersey is Gunsmoke Games. If they don't come forward, it'll be Casey Zarnowski. And then if they don't come forward, it'll be Jason Tebow. So appreciate everybody being YouTube members. You guys are awesome. It means the world to us. I also want to give a special shout out to all the super chats. You guys really drove the conversation tonight. It was a great conversation too. Josh Martin, Tolgrel, Mike Hebring, Smug Industries, Godsmack AR69. Let's see who else we got here. You guys did multiples too. Really appreciate it. Robert Allen with the rubies. All right. And really, really appreciate everybody super chatting. Brooke, it was good to see you in here too. Absolutely awesome that you dropped through. I think you make a good point on that at the end of the first half. I really do. It's just, just two different ways of really looking at it. To put it this way, if they get aggressive and they throw a pick there, you know what we're all saying. Why aren't we just sitting on the ball, right? But kind of the worst of both worlds whenever you see them just kind of, opt out to not do anything, and then you end up losing the game by 4 points. So could have had a field goal there at the end. Look, Paul Robertson carrying on the Eric Sutherland tradition of saying it's rigged. I giggle every time I look at his profile pic, man. I love it. I got to get that soundbite. I'm going to do that. Jake K's got one special request here before we go. If somebody could read that for me, I can't read it very well.
Yeah, that is a 6, a 5, and a percent symbol there.
What does that mean?
65%.
65%. That's what we got. One of the creepiest profile pictures too. Look at that. All right, we're out of here, guys. Really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Again, tough loss as the Packers lose 23-19 in Pittsburgh. Got a couple more questions answered today, right? I feel like that. I think we've got a young receiving core emerging as playmakers, and I think you're starting to see some of these younger guys kind of separate themselves and kind of put their bidding in to be the number 1 and number 2 receiver moving forward. I think Luke Musgrave is going to be good too. I'm really excited about him. So we'll be back tomorrow. Probably do a Good Morning Lambo in the morning. Just kind of a quick chat with everybody. It might be 30 minutes, might be an hour. And then, of course, tomorrow night we'll have the PFF grades. We'll do a PFF review of the game with that right there. So, again, just want to thank everybody for hanging out with us in the chat. Thanks to the super chats. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack Go.
The power sweep. Actually, it's the lead play in our offense.
Tell the tackle, take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, you drive down the first man to his inside. Fullback, you tell him to take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one goes. You go right by them and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.